would go, but I mean, just quite frankly, like, we're just not very good. I mean, we're trying. We played pretty good in stretches, and then the minute they got hit in the mouth, they kind of just went. Pfft. And then energy-wise in the second half, we just don't have enough guys. Like, as simple as that. So, like, I feel bad for them because at times, like, we did a good job defending them in the first half. At times, I think they had it at – we got, like, a play-by-play. Like, I think we had them at about 22 points with yeah, we had it 22-19 with 6:23, and we had them 24-21 with 4:59, and that's the only way we can win. Like, we got to be ugly because we don't have enough pop to score at all. So the bottom line is we had to score where we wanted it. We got up 8, and then we made some boneheaded plays. And then to start the second half, we had no juice. And then the minute we got hit in our mouth, we just went kaput. So, you know, and then guys trying to win the game by themselves. I mean, it is what it is. We're just not good enough right now. Simple as that. You know, again, you can't – I got to keep reminding myself that all I can do is prepare them the best I can on a daily basis. And I have to remind myself that I'm building this thing from the ground up. And so when you analyze it, you know, I inherited a situation where they lost 14 out of 15 games last year. They won 10 games last year, and we have less guys than what they had last year. We only have 6 or 7 guys healthy right now. So I'm not Johnny Wooden or a miracle worker. I have to just keep working with them, try to get them better, build the blocks from the ground up, climb the ladder, and just try to get them better. But ultimately, this is a game of making enough plays when it matters, right? And players do that. Coaches don't really do that. So all I have to do is keep preparing them and look at. We came into the game. Our defensive numbers actually, if you look at Ken Palm, we have some good building blocks, and we actually showed it tonight in the first half. And then in the second half, we went completely dead. And it wasn't like they did anything different. It's just we just didn't have it. So what I've tried to do is instill the defensive mindset so that next year they can win, right? And what I'm trying to do is win as many games as I can, a little bit shorthanded until then. And the bottom line is we have to do a better job when we get hit in the mouth, which is hard to do when you haven't had success. I mean, you know, what they think is what's going to happen next. And so we couldn't quell any of their runs because we didn't make anything when things went bad. Simple as that. So ultimately, I got to keep working with them, try to get them over that. But we need to get healthy first before we can really get over that. That's the facts.
Speaking of that, Clarence, you had a chance to kind of find out what went wrong and you know, what the nature of the injury is, and then secondly, with that, how frustrating is it when you've already had some injuries to some scholarship guys and your main guy goes down like that?
Well, look, man, I can't sit there and worry about it. All I can do is do what I can do. I mean, obviously it's frustrating. We're in a year where we can't afford any injuries, and we've had a multitude of injuries. So it's not like a normal year where I have 11, 12 guys with good depth. I don't have much depth, so when we lose 2, 3, 4, what do we lose? We have 4 guys out now. We have 4 guys out, and you only have 8 on scholarship. I guess what do I expect, right? Again, I don't want to sit here and make excuses because that's not really what I'm about, but you're not going to win many when you have 8 scholarship guys and 4 of them are hurt. And the hard part about it is, like, we're putting in a whole new system. So, like, Kellen Taylor, I had to get him up to speed in 3 days. That's hard. Now, he's done a good job. He's a good learner. And the thing I like about him is he's emotionally engaged, which some of our other guys need to become more emotionally engaged. I think that's you know, I just hate to see people get beaten down, and I think they're fairly beaten down. You know, they just don't believe. You know, which again, they have reason.
It was 50-50 there before they went on that long, scoring drought. having that belief, or is there elements of just guys getting exhausted, not having enough bodies?
So what was the time when it was 50-50?
Today it was 11:42, and then no field goals until Mike Lewis at 1.
Well, first off, for them to get to 50 with 11:42, that's not good for us. We're not winning. We can't get much more than 70. I don't see it.
Right.
I just don't see us having enough pop to get more than 70. So, when it's 50-50, that's a little high. So we didn't have enough. Everybody thinks we probably lost the game offensively, which we did, but we really lost it defensively. If we kept them in the high 50s or low 60s, we win, and we didn't. And again, part of it is it's emotionally it's hard not to score, right, and then go back and play good defense at the other end. And part of it's physical. We're just not – you could see it. We were drained. We just didn't have it. We're just tired. So that's the dilemma, too, is what do you do with them in practice to try to help them with that when you don't have a lot of guys? It is what it is. I mean, thank God I've coached long enough that I know what it is, so I'm just building it. That's what I'm going to build this thing from the ground up. So, and I know this, that basically it comes down to having enough depth and talent to win. That's what it comes down to. This is a pure job of recruiting. It's not a job of coaching. Now, you have to coach them. You have to do a good job coaching them, but you have to recruit at a high level to win.
Why did you decide to take Mike off the bench today?
I just felt like he struggled. I was trying to take pressure off of him. I thought he played better. I thought he had a tough second half, but he played pretty well off the bench the first half. And I thought just getting him in the game where maybe he comes in when guys are a little bit more tired might help him. Helped him, I thought.
When you saw Eric as a high school player, did you see someone that could come in as a freshman that's kind of minutes, double-double, or has he surprised you a little bit?
He's done a good job. He's got to play better than that, though. No disrespect. We just talked to him for about 15 minutes in there. He's got to pass the ball better. He's got to take better shots. Otherwise, what it is he has good numbers on a below-average team. Nobody wants this. That's not what this is about. Both him and Titus have to play better and have to hold themselves accountable to a high standard if they're going to become what they should be. So, he's putting up good numbers, but he's putting up losing numbers, right? So that's the facts. And again, I'm not throwing him under the bus because he's done a good job. Don't get me wrong. To ask a freshman to do that is tough, but the facts are that you got to shoot better than 34% to win, right? So we're shooting 37% from the field. So we actually had 10 assists tonight, which is our season high, which is outrageous, right? But part of that is bad shooting as well. I thought we passed the ball a little bit better tonight. But Eric's got to play better than that. I didn't think he was – I thought his shot selection was bad.
You had a weekend day off in between games. You mentioned the crash course with those 3 days with Kellen. What else, from a belief standpoint, from a structure standpoint, did you set up in that week plus?
We prepared for them. That Princeton system we spent a lot of time on. But I feel like an emergency room doctor at times. You kind of plug that hole, and then you got to plug that hole. So we don't have any consistency to us. In my assessment, the most consistent guy we've had so far is Renee. He's been fairly consistent. Not perfect, but fairly consistent, right? So we may score one time on the block, and then the next 3 times we can't score at all on the block. That presents issues. Or we may make 3 open jump shots, and then we may miss the next 7. We just don't have any consistency. Now, our defense is fairly consistent when we're fresh. We've played better. I don't think it's bad. It's not where we need it to be, but it's better than our other aspects. Offensively, we have severe struggles. We just can't score.
You mentioned Renee coming into this year. He never played 30 minutes in a game period, and now he's averaging 36 and played fairly consistently. Did you expect this from him coming in?
I can't say that I could say I expected it, but he is the highest rated recruit that's here. he was recruited by Brad Stevens, who's arguably one of the best coaches in the United States, maybe in the world. So Brad Stevens doesn't make too many mistakes, but he's never shown that he could play at a high level. Now, he's doing a lot of good things. And he's put, the key for him is he's put a lot of time into it. Look, there's no magical, if you have talent and you put time in, generally you're going to play pretty good. He's not perfect, but he's playing pretty good.
He's not the only guy that's playing a lot of minutes and maybe playing a lot more minutes than they're used to. How do you sort of work through trying to figure out who can handle the extra minutes that you need and who can't, and when you can go to guys and when you need to give guys some time down?
Well, first off, none of them can handle the minutes they're getting. They're being overplayed. Like, they should be at about, half of them should be at about 23 minutes. Right, and we're playing him 36, 37 minutes. That's the majority of our problem. When we're fresh, we're fairly good, but when we're not fresh, we're pretty bad. But I don't have a choice. Like, I mean, I can't put anybody else in. I don't have anybody else, so it is what it is. So that's probably one of our biggest problems. I think we've gotten a little bit better at some things, but when you get tired, you make mistakes. You take bad shots. You don't make shots. You get back cut. You make defensive mistakes. And that's what happens to us. Like, we're good enough to play close for a while, but are we good enough to win? Doesn't seem like it, right? Just too many minutes.
Remember after the Robert Morris game, Titus, started to give an answer, and you kind of interrupted him and said, no, we're not going to make excuses. Is that like a challenge or not a challenge, a process you're going through right now with them, when they get down after a loss like this, where, you're like, we can't keep making excuses. Is that something that you're trying to reiterate to them?
These guys want to win. I mean, nobody doesn't want to win, right? They want to win. They're good guys. They don't totally know how to win, but they've also been put in a very difficult position. So, like, my thing is I have very high expectations, and I have a very high edge to me, right? Like, I have this edge that I never want to lose. When I lose it, I'm going to quit, right? So I have high expectations, and I have a high edge, right? But I'm also realistic enough to know when, like, if you can't score more than 60 or 70, it's hard to win, right? Like, so, like, what do I do? Like, what am I going to do? Beat them up? Like, they're trying. It's hard to win under our circumstances right now. As simple as that. Like, now, some people may say that's an excuse. I don't think, look, I'm never going to make excuses. We have to figure out a way to win under those circumstances. If we have to hold it to the end of the clock, if we have to play more zone, I don't really think it matters what we play, because when you're tired, you're going to give up things. But I don't want to play a lot of zone, because when we get good, I don't want to really play a lot of zone anyway. So why build something that you're really just piecemealing it? That's that's where I'm caught a little bit. Like, I'm trying to get them to play the way I want to play in the future. So, I mean, I could do some other things, but it's not going to make that much difference if you can't put the ball in the basket, right? I mean,
Is that a constant process with you right now with them? Like, when Titus gets down on himself, because it's like, all right, we got 6 players, and you're trying to get them to think positive. Like, is that kind of something that the coaching staff is trying to go through with them?
yeah, I think the dichotomy is that you have to have high expectations for them and not give them any outs, but you also can't beat them up. Like, why would you do that? Like, my philosophy's always been, look, I'm going to beat up the really good horse, right, that has a lot of potential. This team here is just, with 6 guys or 7 guys, it's hard. Like, why beat them up? Like, they're doing the best they can. They want to make enough plays to win. They just couldn't. And ultimately, look, it's my hit. I got to figure out a way to win with them regardless. That's what coaches do, right?
There are flashes where the guys, like you mentioned in the first half, seem to be doing a good bit better, defensively. What do you see out of them in those moments that you really like? And is the goal just to stretch that out for, as long as they can, so that you're not at 50-50 a goal too early in the game?
Well, I think that's the biggest trick, Sarah, is just trying to figure out how we can stretch it out further. Like, even the Robert Morris game, we had a chance to win. I mean, this game here, we had a chance to win. Now, we played a bad 5-6 minutes, right, and that was it, right? But, again, psychologically, when you don't score, like, it's hard to go down there and really grit it up defensively when you don't score. And so I think, we have to do some things. We're going to have to figure out ways to rest. I mean, we can't take any more injuries. So, if we have any more, I'm gonna have to suit up, and I only got one hip, so I don't know what we're supposed to do. So,
I think Karen will, miss any playing time.
I mean, he didn't look good. I mean, right? So we're close to getting Chaz Brown back, but again, he hasn't played in 8 weeks. So he's not going to be great when he comes back, but it does give you another body. And the more bodies you have, the better chance you have. Now, we need some bodies in that backcourt. We're playing those guys way too many minutes.
And then Eric James.
Yeah, Eric James. Losing Eric James hurts us from the perspective of we can at least rest Eric Williams. And now we can play those 3 guards in 2 spots. And then we can rest Eric Williams, get him down to about 26, 27 minutes, 25 minutes. He'll play better. And then when we get Chaz back, now we can kind of flip and flop a little bit, and we'll get another rim protector.
Was Eric James just an MCL? You said sprain or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's probably about 2 weeks out,
Okay.
week and a half out. So,
Okay.
anything else?
Any thoughts on Varsity game? You're welcome.
I mean, we're going to compete. We'll go out there and compete, do the best we can, and we'll prepare them and see if we can play a little bit better. It really doesn't matter who we play right now, right? We just have to play a little bit better. We just got to keep trying and just, learn how to win those games. Both games were very easily winnable. We just died on the vine. Simple as that. Good?